Hi, this is Violet from Scrapintherapy, and today I'm going to play with my watercolor paints, and I want to do this technique that I've been watching on YouTube called loose watercolor painting. And basically what they do is they wet the surface, they dab some colors, and then they make flowers and botanicals. So I'm going to see how well that works for this technique. I want to see if I can do something like that. It didn't look that hard, but yeah, it may be very hard, so I'm not sure. So what I want to do is, because I usually like to try out my techniques on my in my art journal, I'm going to go ahead and put some absorbent ground because I am using some watercolor. So I want to go ahead and put some of this ground on the surface of my page, so that way it will take the color better. It will take the watercolor, it will absorb the watercolor. And I tend to have more success when I do use this than gesso. I already went ahead and pre-gesso my page, but you don't have to pre-gesso your page. Usually what I did with this journal is a lot of the pages I already put paint on them, and I had them prep, ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put some absorbent ground because I really don't want gesso on here. So let me go ahead and spread this on my page, and I think I'm going to be using a brush this time to spread it because I want a nice even coat. Usually I take my my palette knife and I use that, but this time I think I'm going to go ahead and use a brush to gesso my page. And I'm just going to play with one side. The other side I may use a different technique. So I'm not going to go ahead and gesso that side. It's just going to be one side, one page. So I'm going to go ahead and put a nice thin coat of this absorbent ground on this page, and I shall be back. Now that I have it nice and dry, I'm just going to put some water with some color and then putting some red. And then I'm letting it seep, as you can see there. And I think it would have worked better if I would have used watercolor paper instead of absorbent ground on my art journal. But you know, I'm just playing and kind of learning the technique. And one of the technique that I was watching was to do negative. It was called negative painting, and that's when they put a darker background on the back of their blob of color, if we can call it that. And I was trying to attempt to do that too. I was trying to put some darker color in the back of some of my blobs of color, just to make flowers. And flowers is a very easy painting or to play with, because you know, flowers have very diverse forms. And you can make anything look like a flower. Any kind of shape or spear can resemble a flower. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And then what I'm doing is I'm trying to do a little bit of outline. And just trying to outline my petals that I see, things that I see on this flower. Trying to make it more to resemble more a flower. And here's more negative painting. Putting a little more black on the back of each of these flowers. So I have everything dry. So another technique that I saw on YouTube was using some color pencils to outline your watercolor images. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm using some of my inexpensive Crayola color pencils and trying to give it a little more definition on the outline, and just giving it a little more pop of color, and using some grays and reds just to give it a little more color. And actually, because I did use the absorbent ground, I do have a nice tooth on the page, so my color pencils are working very well for this technique. And you know, experimenting with a different technique to see which one I like best. So I think I'm done, so I'm going to call it a day. So this was kind of fun. It was fun. I just threw some paint together, created some stylish little flowers. And it's going to stay, this technique, I think I need to practice a little more, so it's going to stay more in my art journal than anything. But, I mean, I'm getting a little better, I think, as I practice more and more how to use my watercolor and just make flowers. Flowers is one of the easiest things to make with watercolors. So, you know, once I master the flowers, then I may want to move on to scenery and other type of watercolor paintings. But I hope I inspired you, and I hope you liked this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.